Hello, everyone, and welcome to our GEG Ontario Learning Series webinar on getting started with the Hour of Code. We're very excited to host an informative event for you, but we certainly invite you to participate, share your ideas. You're going to hear more about that. So to begin, we are going to start with our land acknowledgement.
Thanks so much, Jen. So this evening, we're going to start with our land acknowledgement. And we want to say that in the spirit of truth and reconciliation, GEG Ontario acknowledges that we are gathered today on the traditional lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, and the Huron-Wendat. And if you're interested in finding out what land you might be on, feel free to check out the link native-land.ca and investigate some of the land that you share. At this time, we're going to invite you to join us in the YouTube chat. And we're going to ask just a very quick question. We're not going to tell you a lot about it, but we just want to know very quickly, dragon or gnome? We're going to come back to this a little bit later on. So remember your little answer. But that's all we're going to tell you about this right now. But I want you to choose dragon or gnome. So just for introduction purposes, my name is Jocelyn Curvin, and I think I'm going to go with dragon this evening. We're also going to be live tweeting a bit, or tweeting throughout the evening. And if you're going to use our Twitter hashtag of GEG Ontario, I'll be checking in on that as well. So you can let us know in the Twitter chat whether you're choosing dragon or gnome this evening. So that's a little bit of our kickoff this evening to our event all about coding with Andrew McDonald. So I'm going to turn off my camera right now for a little bit, and I'm going to check on our Twitter chat. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Jocelyn. Hi, everybody. I'm Larissa Raj. I definitely am on Team Gnome, just so you're aware. I pick Gnome. And I just wanted to start by saying that GEGs are independently run communities of educators who inspire and empower each other to meet the needs of students through technology, both in the classroom and beyond. If you are a leader in technology in any way or interested in joining us, please hook up, let us know. Also, if there happens to be anyone in any other provinces of Canada here and you're thinking about joining, please reach out and let us know, and maybe we can hook up something that way. I just wanted to introduce, so Jocelyn introduced herself. I'm Larissa. We've got Jen Casatod here moderating tonight, and we have the amazing Andrew McDonald, who's going to share a wealth of knowledge with us about coding tonight. So I'm really excited to hear, because I could definitely use a little brush up before CS week next in a couple weeks. So you can, I think, take it away, Andrew, right? Or no, first, sorry, we're going to Jen first. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Jennifer Casatod. I am one of the GEG Ontario leaders. And Larissa has told us where you can connect with us. We're on Twitter and Instagram. We have a mailing list that is really awesome. All of the resources that we are sharing tonight are actually on our website as well. I'm going to throw that in the YouTube chat. And it's there as well, bit.ly/GEG Ontario site. And you may also be viewing this on YouTube, which is awesome. In order to connect with us this evening, there are lots of ways. The first way would be to go onto Twitter and use the hashtag GEG Ontario. And that's on Twitter. And we have, I think, Jocelyn, who's going to be on Twitter. And the second way is to sign into YouTube using a Gmail, and you can use the chat to ask a question, share something. You are GEG. GEG just stands for Google Educator Group. So that's you. And so we would love to hear what resources you've heard about. We really, really would appreciate that as well. So remember that question we asked you at the beginning? It was gnome or dragon. And I'm sorry you're on Team Dragon. I mean, Team Team Gnome, because overwhelmingly it was Dragon, Larissa. I'm sorry. So what we're going to do now is show you, well, Andrew's going to show you, and again, there's a link to this. It's the Brain Technologies website. And what they have in their at home section is they have live robots for you to program. And so thank you for, yes, Team Dragon wins. Thank you so much for those of you that participated. If you didn't, no worries. You can jump on here later and try the gnome if you really love it. And Andrew, you're just gonna is just gonna demo how the live robot feature works. Now, everybody in the world has access to the live Dragon, so just be mindful of that. And also be mindful of the fact that anytime you try to do something live in front of an audience, it doesn't always work out. So let's hope the tech gods are with us this evening. And Andrew, do you just want to talk us through what you are doing here?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to make it full
very
screen, I think.
Yeah, that sounds great. So you'll see here that we have a platform with some code blocks on the left and in the center here. And it does have a nice little bit of a tutorial to help you out in terms of what's going on, and then some directions. And so I'm on my keyboard, I'm just going to press C to connect, and you'll see that we're connected here. And then also in a few seconds, we'll see down here, it should say in use on the Dragon. And then what we can do, so as it says, there's about a 10 to 15 second delay because of the refresh rate. And so there we are. Yeah, we're connected. So now we can go ahead and do some coding with this. So they've already gotten a few blocks together here, so we can look at, so this, the bird brain technology that we're using here is the Hummingbird. And it is a nice board. You can sort of see it next to the gnome, and there's a microbit on top as well. And so for those of you that are used to the microbit, this is a very awesome opportunity to use this with your class and live with your class from home as well. And so that's the awesome opportunity. And so if I just click on this block here, it's going to run it. And then if we give it a few seconds, we're going to see some lights over here. And I can just make this full screen. So we can also see that there's, oh, there we go. So we saw the eyes light up on the Dragon. And so the other thing we can do too is you might be able to see there's some motors and that sort of thing. So if I just click on this block, it's going to do some motors for a few seconds. And so if I wanted to, I could go ahead and sort of bring these two motors together, maybe this one together, maybe have some weight in there. And then maybe I can duplicate this and do this again. And then just put this all together. And so it sort of reads from the bottom. And then if I click on the green flag, either here or up here, and then if I really don't know what's going to happen here because it's sort of communicating with the servo. So a servo is a little motor. And then we see what we programmed our Dragon to do.
And I'm going to interject here because I am not very versed in coding. I'm definitely on a learning journey. And I feel like if I were doing this with a class, I could invite them to tell me, what do you think it should do? You know, what do you think it'll do if we do this? And what might it do if we do this? And we could sort of explore it together. It feels like a very low risk kind of activity that I can engage in with my students. I could even get a student who knows coding, block coding really well to sort of spearhead this and you know, actually do it while the rest of us tell the student what to do. That's just my novice lens there, Andrew.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And for those of you with a little bit, and you know, you can see our robot still going. So we have this repeat 10, so it's going through this loop 10 times. And for those of you that might recognize there's a little ultrasonic sensor here too, so we could use that in our sensing, and getting right into the coding and doing all sorts of fun activities with it. But that's not what we're going to do today. This was a great little demo to get you kick-started, and we've got some other things to share with you, lots of resources and opportunities for you to learn and with you and with your students. And so thanks for that, for Team Dragon. I personally was with you, Larissa. I was going for Team Gnome, but we'll head back there. You know, we can head back there later and explore some more with that.
And just there are people who are asking, where can you find the resources? We've hyperlinked all the resources on the slides, on the actual images themselves. So again, if you look at bit.ly/GEG Ont site, you will find all the resources there.
Awesome. So yeah, so what is Hour of Code, and what does sort of it mean, and what's its origin? So this Hour of Code has come out of the CS, or Computer Science Education Week. And this year, year 2020, it's December 7th to 13th. And it sort of is origin from to celebrate Grace Hopper's birthday. And some of you might be wondering, well, who's Grace Hopper? So Grace Hopper is a computer pioneer and a naval officer, or was. She passed away a few years ago. But she was one of those pioneers in computer programming and computer languages. And actually, she developed one of the first computer languages, COBOL, that was in the 70s, or she developed it before that, but in the 70s, it was one of the most popular languages. And she actually termed, actually, I'll ask my panel, does anybody know why when you have something wrong in your program, you call it a bug? No? So computers weren't as small as they used to be. They were the size of rooms, essentially. And there was lots of components, and the term bug actually came from a moth that they found within the computer system, and there was something wrong with their code. So they had these punch cards that they were running through their system, and it wasn't working, and the punch cards were all correct, but there was a bug in the system. And so they actually went and they had to sort of take it apart, and they took this moth out. And so the moth is now on show. But you know, so it's actually a pretty interesting, at least I think it's a pretty interesting story. And so why are we talking about this? So yeah, Computer Science Education Week is an opportunity for you to sort of dive into doing some coding in your classroom. And there's lots of free resources available and lots of opportunities for you to get in there. And now with the new math curriculum, there is that opportunity as well for you to hit off some connections as well. So what do we know about coding, and what do we like about it? So in terms of coding, there's lots of opportunities for problem solving, for communicating between, you know, why is my code not working? Why are we struggling here? And so for talking it through, either talking to yourself, or there's an opportunity we often talk about in coding called rubber duck decoding. And so it's you talking to a rubber duck and getting through and saying, okay, this is what I'm struggling with, and how do we go through our issues. And then also being able to reason through some of the difficulties you're having, and reflecting on some of the successes that you had, and maybe some of the failures, but again, a failure is only our first attempt in learning. So what went wrong, and how can I resolve this to better achieve what I'm looking at getting? And so a nice quote, and there's lots of great quotes out there in terms of why computer programming, but this one I found from Steve Jobs is, everyone should learn to program a computer because it teaches you how to think. And we want to have a next generation, not of computer programmers, but of thinkers, of people that have growth mindset and are problem solvers. We have lots of things that are coming up and issues that we have in the world that we don't know about. But if we have a generation of problem solvers, I'm excited to see the opportunities in terms of solutions that will come from our generation. And so in terms of hour of code, again, it's sort of taking that hour out of your week. Again, it doesn't have to be done specifically during that week. You can have coding any time of the year, but it's sort of encouraged to be done during that week. There's all sorts of links to any subjects, and if you're interested in seeing how you could integrate it into your classroom, please feel free to reach out to us on our Twitter at GEG Ontario, or using the hashtag GEG Ontario. I'd be excited, and we'd be excited to be able to support you with those opportunities. And we also have those great links to the math curriculum. And so one of the great sites that I have and like to explore is the Hour of Code website. And I'm just going to pop over to it. I've already got it up here. And this website is full of activities. And as you can see, they're 1 hour, so nice getting started, and in over 45 languages. So for your ELL students, ESL students, they can just switch it over into their language, and then they can get going. I know that I had a student that I was working with, and he had just newly arrived. He was an Arabic speaker, and so I just said, hey, let's just switch the language of the platform we were using, and you should have seen him light up. It was exciting to see him. I wasn't very good at the Arabic, but we could switch it back and forth between the English and the Arabic, and it was great. And then, so in terms of what we can find here is, if we're pre-reader or if we're different grade bands, and then also what sort of technology you might have. And so, as I said, there's lots and lots of resources here. And so if you are someone who has no computer or very poor internet connection, then you can see that there's some nice getting started projects for you. And one that newly came out is from our friends at Google, from our CS First computer science portfolio, is some nice unplugged activities. And so if I was to just click on this, it gives me a little bit of information about it and saying, oh yeah, this looks good. All modern browsers, so I don't have to worry about what computer I'm on. And then I have my teacher's notes. I know the short link to it, and I can just get started. And most of these activities have those teacher's notes, so that it gives you a chance to say, okay, how do I get started? Where am I going? What do I need to get my learners going in this particular activity? And so those are really helpful for you to get started, because some of you might say, I don't know how to get started. And so those are wonderful chances for you to take that leap and to dive in, so that you can feel like there is some support already, some resources available for you. All right, so that was all good. A nice site that has got lots of activities. Again, it's the Hour of Code, and we've got a link in our presentation for that one as well. And so you might be wondering, oh, did I just start from the beginning? Okay, good. So you might be wondering, like, how many people out there are doing this Hour of Code? And so it's a global movement. There's over 180 countries that have participated. In 2020 alone, there's over 50,000 events. In Canada, we don't have a lot, only about 700, 800. So hopefully we'll have a few more after this evening. And then, yeah, you can see this nice map. There's a sign up where you can put your name on the map, You can zoom in, that sort of thing. And your event is right here. So we're just waiting for you. And again, if you need any support for getting started, you can definitely reach out. I know on their website they also have an opportunity where you can invite a volunteer to help out, and so I think they have a little bit of a bank of volunteers, and the website allows for that matching opportunity. So if that's of interest, then definitely check it out for sure. So like I said, it's easy to get started. First, you sort of decide, okay, what sort of platform am I going to be on based on the technology that you currently have? If you're in person, if you're hybrid, if you're virtual, if you're like, I don't even remember all the other opportunities in terms of learning right now, with things sort of changing every time I talk to my teacher friends. But there's something there for you. Explore those resources, and then, yeah, let's get coding. And again, please reach out. Please let us know. Tag us in those pictures, and we'd be excited to see where it gets going. So, in terms of the new math curriculum, I mentioned at the beginning, and we do have, we're now excited to have coding in the new math curriculum. So it is in the algebra strand. And there are two specific expectations, and I didn't want to go too much in depth, but everything is building on top of it. So I know that for this year, maybe the 5, 6, 7, 8 might be a little more difficult because they have not had the 1 to 4 curriculum. But once you actually start to look at it and read it, you can start to see that some of the programs that you can create are not that different. And so if I was to just jump back over to our bird brain technology dragon here, so I had mentioned that things were in order and they're in a certain sequence, and so that's one of our expectations is sequencing. Also here we've got these 2 blocks, and I could have had, so that my LEDs I could have had running at a different time than my motors, or I could have had them running in 2 separate blocks of code. And so that would be concurrent. And then the fact that I have this in a loop, that's another expectation. And so right away, just with this simple activity, we've already gone from our, I'm just going to present again, nice big screen. We've already gone from our sequential to concurrent to repeating events, and we've got some nested events, and then so we can start to get up in terms of the complexity of our code. But again, it's not that difficult in terms of getting there with the expectations that are in the your grade band. And that's in terms of like the .1s. In terms of the .2, it's all about reading and altering, or remixing is a word that we often use with coding, existing code that's out there. And so just, finding stuff that's out there. If you're on the Scratch website, if you find microbit projects, finding that bird brain activity, just taking that and altering it. And the kid, if you have a starter project, you share it out with the kids and you say, show me what you got. And those are some exciting moments. You'll see the kids take it in different directions, and they have the same base code, but they've gone and explored some pretty awesome stuff. And so that's where this read and altering the existing code is that's where that hits that curriculum expectation. And so some things that are happening now, and please feel free to share with us some of your events that you might be hearing about or hosting. Some of the things that I wanted to share. Just recently, TVO Teach Ontario released a new coding hub with Lisa Ann Floyd. She has a nice webinar on some more activities with coding, and then has some nice articles for them. I know Tarek Tangredi just did a great webinar last night with getting started with with coding from grades 1 to 8. Tomorrow, if you're interested, I know it's during the day, but there's a Scratch Ed meetup. And a Scratch Ed meetup is more along the lines of not a webinar, but it's like an ed camp. And so please, we've got all these are links. So if you wanted to find out more about the Scratch Ed meetup, this is one of the only ones in Ontario. So, but right now, because everything's virtual, please join us if you have an opportunity, or you could at least join the group and find out when they're going to have another event. And then, so tomorrow they're having an event in the afternoon, and they'd be excited to have more people joining. And it's just going to be talking about Scratch. So for those of you that haven't used Scratch, it's another coding language, very block-based. And so if I would just to show very quickly, it looks very much like what we just did in the Dragon demonstration. And it's a great way to get kids started with coding. They don't have to worry about the syntax or the way that things are written if you're using text-based languages, whereas this is code or block-based language. And you don't have to worry about students signing in. You don't have to worry about them saving things. If they have signed in, you could get an educator account, and then that sort of keeps them within that umbrella of you. So there's lots of opportunities here, and lots of resources on their main page. If you just scroll down, there's an educator tab here, and they've got some great ideas there for you as an educator. And then, so one of the events that we wanted to talk about with one of our friends from EdTech team, they're having some stuff with including Minecraft, and so they will come into your classroom, a co-teacher for the day or for the class, and be able to walk you through an activity with Minecraft. And one of the cool things that I just saw or have seen recently is, for those of you with Chromebooks, Minecraft now works on Chromebooks. And I just saw recently as well, you can sign in with your Google account. So it's like you don't have to worry about going through the whole Microsoft sign-in process. It's like super cool. Yeah. So Jen, you had some more thoughts on this, didn't you?
I was just going to say that I spoke to Michelle from EdTech team today because I was super excited about the fact that it's free. I also love that there's French. We so seldomly, we try as a GEG group because Ontario obviously is English and French. So just exciting that if you click on that image, Semaine, well, I can't say it. Chantal, I'm sorry. Semaine de
Sciences Informatique.
Thank you, Andrew. You will sign up for the French version, and then the clicking on the other image will allow you to sign up for the English version. And Michelle let me know that as of tomorrow, once you register, they are sending out guides to all registrants either tomorrow or Monday, and it's a 90-minute session, and they basically take over. You don't have to do anything, which sounds really awesome to me. So that's all I know about that.
Nice. I might sign myself up. Yeah. Oh. Awesome. And then, yeah, so if you know of any other great things happening during Computer Science Week, please share that in the chat. Share that in Twitter. Please tag us. And if you know any other coding resources, great coding resources, please feel free to share out. We're excited to be able to share these sort of things. And you know, maybe we should collate these some way. What do you think, Jen?
We should. We really should. So I certainly know that if you use the hashtag and you just search the hashtag either on Twitter, that you'll be able to see them. But why don't we create a wakelet for resources that people share, and we can add it to our website. Right underneath where you see this webinar is on our website, and then beside it are the slides. We can create a link below. Good idea.
Yeah, I think that would be an awesome idea. I just thought about that. I'm like, I'm excited to see what other people are sharing or will share with us. So yeah. But yeah, sorry, I got off topic. And so again, yeah, how to reach out with us. You can connect with us through Twitter, through our Instagram, with our mailing lists. Again, Jen just mentioned our website. We're going to have our this YouTube stream on there. We're also going to have the slides if you're interested, and our newly Wakelet collection is going to be there. And then also check us out on our YouTube channel with our upcoming webinars.
Speaking of, our next webinar is going to be on December 9th. It will also feature one of the GEG leaders. And I think a few of us will be on there to talk about Google Calendar. There are hidden nuggets in Google Calendar. Join us for tips and ideas on how to use Google Calendar like a rock star. Ladies, thank you so much, Andrew, for sharing your expertise. Amazing. I think we really appreciated it. We just had Carla. Thank you for joining us, Carla. Said fairly new to coding, and also says thank you for sharing the awesome resources. So on behalf of GEG Ontario, please share this webinar. It is going to be available, obviously, on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we hope to see you on December 9th. We're just trying to offer short, because we know how busy everyone is, short webinars that have a lot of impact, a lot of resources for you. So have a great night, everyone. And if you're an American friend, happy Thanksgiving to you. Bye-bye.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.